Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kindness Changes Everything. I'm Karen Palmer. I'm the founder of Global Kindness Going Viral and the Puppy Love Revolution, and co founder of Spirituality Gone Wild. We are a broadcasting channel that is dedicated to raising the levels of gratitude, compassion, joy, love, kindness, and peace on earth. So I am so honored because I get to bring you the people who are boots to the ground, out there spreading love and kindness, helping us to see a culture of peace. And I really, really want to just share just a little bit about this amazing project that Dara Barlin has going on. And I really hope that you will get involved with this quarantine games. We're going to have so much fun exploring this, but let me just share the fun and adventure of the connecting with your family, your roommates, connecting with the people that you're in quarantine with. What a concept, right? So this show features ways for more kindness and peace to help our world. This week, we answer, how can we create a culture of peace around the globe when we don't even know how to create peace in our own homes? What a concept. Our new group, established during COVID-19, is on a mission to use hilarious games to help households around the world gain the skills to create more empathy in this beautiful joy, understanding at home, so that you can take that out into your community. We're looking for up to 12 contestants and 100 audience members. So we invite you to check out mindsetresetgames.com. So welcome, beautiful Denise Washlow. Thank you, beautiful souls. We're happy that you're here. We have all these wonderful people coming in. Hello, Suzanne Randall. Yes, I know. What a cute idea for a game, right? What a great, great opportunity. So let me just pop over here. I'm going to just let Dara share a little bit about the vision that she had with this amazing idea and how it started to take fruition. I'd love for you to tell us post COVID-19 and then now where you are today. So maybe just kind of giving us a backstory of where this really originated in your heart. Oh, wait, first I want to start. One thing I like to do, and I love to do this with all of our audience members and everyone, is get into coherence. So let's get into coherence by bringing our hands to our heart and taking 3 ocean breaths. So ocean breath is when we breathe in through our nose and out through our nose, making a swishy sound like the ocean. You can make a little humming sound if you'd like, if you want to release any traumas or old stories that you've been telling yourself. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And a deep breath in and out through the nose. We invite our mind to be kind. We invite our heart to be open. We invite our heart to be grateful, to be peaceful, and to be awake for this beautiful session. We take a moment to think of something that we're very, very grateful for. We bring that into our mind, our heart. We feel it in our breath, and we know it in our soul, our true self. We allow this time together to be a beautiful, awakened moment, moment by moment, staying in our heart center, allowing our mind to be kind, no judgment, no opinions, just open. Bring that kindness of love, support, and appreciation to yourself for all that you are doing in the world and all that you are being as the lighthouse that you are. Not a flashlight, but a lighthouse. Flashlights point out the problems. Lighthouses shine on solutions. Allow yourself to be that lighthouse. And as we come back into this beautiful awareness, we allow the experience of oneness to become evident in this broadcast. Thank you, everybody. So I love this idea that you have of finding a way for people to explore their relationships with the people that they're in quarantine. So let's hear the backstory, and then let's hear where you are with this coming, how excited you must be to have your dream coming into this reality. You know, that's what we do here at Spirituality Gone Wild, is we love our dreams into this reality. And we do that as a family. We do that holding space for each other. So let's hear this beautiful, beautiful vision that you had that is coming into our new reality. Thank you, Dara, for your beautiful vision.
Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. What a powerful opening, just gestures and all these wonderful ideas. And in fact, I didn't know why, but I was feeling called to wear this shirt. And now I think I know why, because we were taking ocean breaths, which aligns very well with these little dolphins, as you can see throughout the pattern here. So that worked out well. So yeah, where did I get started on this? I think it's been a long time coming, this idea. It's sort of always been in the back of my mind, probably ever since I had a very hard relationship with my own mother in my own household. We just rubbed each other the wrong way growing up. Um, and this has a happy ending, by the way, to the story. And I got involved in a whole bunch of change work, trying to change from lots of different angles. I was involved in education for a while. I did policy for a while. I was working with a lot of awesome governments trying to create change, but nothing was really working. And I was getting really frustrated. And so, what I decided to do is um, leave my cushy policy job. And I felt a calling to go do a global peace building project. So I went around the world to 97 countries, mostly online, to find people to ask uh, 4 questions about how to make the world a better place. And we had some incredible answers. And once we sort of translated it into about 19 languages and then translated it back to figure out where we all agree the world could be better. And then we called on artists and musicians to articulate that vision via art and music. And it was a really profound experience for me. But one of the things that I realized, the most powerful learning from it, was that we were able to get people to hear each other better. And we were able to get people who don't even get along according to the media to really get along so well and so seamlessly, be able to create change together in a positive way with so much kindness and caring. Um, and so we were able to get Palestinians who were conservative Muslim working seamlessly with conservative Jews from Israel. We were able to get born again Christians in Nigeria working seamlessly with LGBTQ atheists in San Francisco. We got Occupy Wall Street activists working seamlessly with Wall Street investment bankers. And so that was uh, the moment a light went on in my head. And I said, you know what? We were able to create a communication structure that allowed us to hear each other better and that allowed us to create more kindness among each other. And so, fast forward, I decided to open up my own shop focusing on workplace transformation using the communication tools that I had developed. And so when COVID hit, it became a no-brainer for me. Actually, a lot of my work dried up because, COVID, a lot of my work was in group sessions. So I was like, well, what am I going to do with my time? And here we are in the struggle with, so many people with anxiety going up. We're seeing the highest levels of suicide rates and depression and anxiety and conflict and domestic violence. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity for me to take my learning from everything else, from big project, from workplace transformation, and to create these protocols to support households. But the one protocol I know that works a lot better than telling people what to do is to do it through games, right? So gamification and doing it in a joyful way actually doesn't make it feel like, oh, you're telling me what to do. And it makes it like, oh, here's a fun game that we can all play. And then as we do, we can find better ways of hearing each other and healing some of the conflict or hard stuff that's going on in our lives. So we're excited. We're excited to launch. This is our first go. So yeah, excited to find out what happens next.
Well, that was how I started Let's Save Our Earth, the board game that I started going into the schools with 19 years ago now. I started actually in our local town. We started the local Earth Day. I started with my 5-year-old at the time. She's 24 now, and I started a nonprofit organization going into the schools because there were no programs and there were no environmental education, there was no animal advocacy, there was no kindness, there was no peace education. So I put all of that together in a board game. Like you said, people won't listen unless it's fun. And and I don't listen unless it's fun. So I can really relate, I can really relate to what people, and I've always, like, my whole teenage years, all of my high school years, all of my college years, everything had to be in music or in a game for me to learn it. And so I took that, when my daughter was having some struggles, 5 years old, and was not fitting in the box of what society decides a 5-year-old should be. I said, no, I am going to bring a new program to the schools, and decided that that was what we were going to do. And so 19 years later, here we are, global, all over the world. And so I love that you had that vision and that you saw yourself doing what you knew would be the most. I love that you brought in that your relationship with your mom was strained. My mom too, and that was why I wanted so much to heal the relationship with my daughter and to create a relationship where my daughter felt safe to tell me anything, to say anything, to feel anything. I wanted to be able to have a program for children that teaches us, how do we navigate our emotions instead of stuffing them? Why don't we learn how to drive this vehicle that we are driving around the world, and
Take the wheel.
yeah, and take the wheel away from the, hiding, avoiding, not talking. It's so easy to just become strained. It's
Mhm.
it's it's really easy, and I think that it's really important that people understand that it's so much more fun to connect and to really find common ground, even if you do have lots and lots and lots of differences that you don't see eye to eye. How do we find common ground?
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about what's coming up this week for you, because there's some really exciting things that are coming up. And do you already have all your contestants and all your audience members and everything or are you still looking for
We're
people? I
still
just put the
welcoming
link.
people in. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Come on in if you're interested. Yeah, so we're launching on the 15th, and this is a beta launch because we've never done it before. But you don't really know if things are going to work unless you try them out. So this is our first big effort. We've been working on this. So when I say we, I believe that the vision dropped into me, and so I got to shepherd it forward. But there's been so many amazing people who have helped create these games, everything from the websites to the videos to the playbooks. And I just want to give a shout out to my mom because she has been the first beta tester in all of the games. And what's been amazing about it is, as we've been beta testing, we've been having these powerful discussions that have radically transformed our relationship. I'm actually staying with her through COVID now. We're in the same house. And whereupon I was once only, a few months ago, terrified of that idea because we had such a rough relationship. Now I can honestly call her my best friend. And I'm
Oh,
not, I'm not, I'm not saying that as like a floofy kind of like blowing smoke
no,
up,
that's
but it is.
beautiful.
We are not fight. We haven't fought in ages. We have so much respect for each other. And what was interesting is it just took a couple of pieces of calibrating our understanding of what kindness looks like, or how to communicate with one another in a way that felt kind to the other person. So we had just had completely different beliefs of what kindness meant and what the other person needed. So once we were able to get on the same page, we radically improved our relationship, and now we're in such a good space. I think both of us are just enjoying this ride and this time. And she's been very supportive of the event, which is coming up on September 15th. So it's going to be an online event. We're going to be playing the feature game show, which is called Let's Assess Your Household Stress, which is basically people engage in rating where they think they are on 10 different characteristics, and in terms of the household dynamics. So we can see, where you're rocking out and where the weakest links are. And once we figure out the weakest links, then folks can go and play the games themselves, and they play each one, and we're actually going to be measuring to see if we can improve the happiness index, which just means we're actually going to be measuring to see if we can make you happier from week 1 to week 3 just by playing 3 games, uh,
Wow.
in addition to the feature game. So we're really excited about it. We
I love
have
this.
a lot of folks who are excited about the idea. We're excited to get beta testers to try out the games and to see if they work. At the very least, we know they'll be fun and a good time and something to do, to keep everyone occupied. But we're in particular looking to see if it improves relationship among couples and parents with their kids, and also roommates if roommates want to hop on board.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. And the best way that they can learn about it is to go to the mindsetresetgames.com, and they'll get information if they
Yeah.
sign up.
So you can go to mindsetresetgames.com/live to sign up there, or just look at the little toggle on
Oh,
top.
that's the
That says,
application then?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. But for this group, anybody who comes on board for this group, you get in straight away. So make sure to sign up though before Sunday, so we can make sure to get you in. And then also you can check us out on the Facebook page. We have an event page, and we have, which I can put in the comments, via Facebook. And those are the 2 ways of getting involved. Either join us via the website.
What is the Facebook page?
So let me see if I can get it into the comments.
Oh, that's
I'll
great.
throw it into the private chat with you to see if that works. Is
That's great.
Facebook
So
page?
we have the link up on the screen right now for the mindsetresetgames.com/live. And then the Facebook group is another way that people can watch, right?
Yes, indeed. And you can just go ahead and Google, or once you go into Facebook, you can also just type in Quarantine Online Game Show and Global Launch Party, and that should take you right there.
Okay, perfect. Well, I can come back in after. We can actually, I'll go over to Facebook and grab it. Let's see. So if I go to Facebook, I go to the quarantine.
And it's quarantine. So we changed the word quarantine to have team at the end. So it's
Okay.
QUARANTEAM, and then online game show and global launch party. And while she's looking that up, I'll just let folks know that we are going to be playing the game. We will have some prizes, which should be super fun. But we'll also give you a technique. So one of the things we've been hearing from folks is that we don't necessarily have A lot of folks want to come in, but they're like, oh, my husband will never go for that. My kids will never go for that. So we're actually going to use one of the techniques that we use in the games to show you how you can get the full buy-in, enthusiastic buy-in and consent from your family members or the other person in your couple, so that everyone will want to play along. So that will be part of the game. We'll play the game. The game is about a little less than an hour, and then we'll give some tips for how you can bring your own family members in and or other household members so they can play with you and you can get that full buy-in, because that's really needed for the games to work.
I think I'm getting it here. Okay, I think I'm getting it.
Let's see. Oh, I think the links on Facebook are a little, they're long.
This is the event. That was the event one. And so now I'm trying to find the actual page for people to like.
Oh, yes. That's probably Mindset Reset Games page.
Okay, Mindset.
So in the game, you'll be able to play. We're going to ask 10 questions, and those questions you'll be able to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 where you think your household falls. So it's really interactive. You can even bring your family in if you want to play during the launch call. That would be super fun. And if you can't get other folks to come on board, just come yourself. There'll be a lot of individuals coming, and everyone can have a chance to play. So it should be a lot of fun. Yes, great. Karen, I think you got it. Fantastic. So you can check out the event on Facebook or on our website. Yeah.
Awesome.
If it's after September 15th, I would say come along anyway, and you can check out the games. We're just launching the games, so the games will not be ready until the 15th. But after that, you'll be able to access them at any point at mindsetresetgames.com.
And so if they like the page on Facebook, they're going to get notifications whenever you're live. So that's a really great thing for people to do. So make sure that you like the page, and then you'll get a notification whenever they go live. So you'll never miss a thing. And so that's what you really want to do, is go over and like her page. Make sure that when you do like the page, you leave a comment, or maybe you can leave something there that says, I saw the show. I really loved it on Kindness Changes Everything, and I really am excited to see that you are coming up with great ideas to help us have more connection. It's a very exciting time right now as our world is really doing the reset. I think that this Mindset Reset Games is such a perfect divine timing. And I'm so grateful that you reached out to me a couple months ago. You told me what was coming up. You told me it was going to happen. And we had a nice little meeting together, and then you reached out to me and said, I got it. It's ready. It's done. I'm ready to share it out. And this is going live on all of our platforms, not only Facebook, but not only our Spirituality Gone Wild, but the We the World, the Compassion Games. We're live on everything right now. So we're hoping that everybody will reach out to Dara. What's the best way for people to connect with you, Dara, through your social media?
I would say in general, I am a Facebook person. I know a lot of people my age or younger, I should say, are doing more the Instagram. I haven't gotten comfortable with that platform just yet. I'm still a Facebook girl. So if you want to get a hold of me, you could just message us at mindsetresetgames.com. I'm also, if you want to, shoot me something directly, I'm happy to give my email address out if somebody is Jones in to come on board and help collaborate. Part of our work is to, whoever wants to collaborate gets in, because we believe that everyone's got great ideas, and it's about harnessing those ideas that will allow everything to manifest. So by all means, happy to offer that if that's helpful.
Yeah.
Send us a message. Yeah.
So I'm going to share the screen here and let you talk us through a little bit here. So I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk this through a little bit. I love this so much. All right. So, where households learn how to stop annoying each other. I
So
love it.
I'll stop there because what's really interesting about the games is one of the things that we've learned. Even though I've got a very global focus, I'm big on global change. Getting people to actually get the games and play the games is a whole nother story. So a lot of those folks aren't necessarily interested in global change. So some people might say, oh, this is kumbaya, that's not for me. So we're trying to create a little bit more of an edgy feel to it, and so it's not similar. My old project was a lot more about compassion and empathy, but now we're trying to get the nitty gritty to get those folks who don't focus on kindness to be able to play the games, that don't focus on compassion, that don't focus on empathy. So the messaging is a little bit more edgy, a little bit more irreverent, in order to bring in those communities who might not otherwise be interested in this stuff. But that being
I
said,
love this.
yeah, that being said, if you're into compassion and kindness and empathy, this games is still for you. And we use a lot of humor to try and get people to come on board. And I think we have a few jocular moments in our website, depending on which angle you're coming in from.
Wow, I love it. So let's assess your household stress. What are the three best things your household does to create happy home during COVID-19? What are your three weakest links? Find out here in this hilarious game that you play with the people you're living with to measure your household happiness index. I love that. Come play and see how high you can get. That's
Intensity of
so
everyone. No, yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
All right, so walk us through a little bit here. The challenge, 3 games, 3 weeks, up to 300 more points.
Yeah. So we're trying to gamify everything, right? So gamification is basically just using elements of games and game theory to make boring tasks seem more exciting, right? So this is where we're trying to do a little. We're already gamifying it by giving folks a challenge. So what happens is you play the Let's Assess Your Household Stress game first. You figure out your top three areas, and you give each other a high five or some celebratory gesture. And then you're like, all right, but we need to work in these three areas. And then you go and you find the three games in those areas and you play them within 3 weeks' time. And we will measure to see if playing the games actually made you happier after 3 weeks. And then we'll send you a little chart to say, yes, it did make you happier. And we send it to you through your SOAR score. And so hopefully your scores will soar as a result of being a part of this game series. So we'll send you your source scores, and we'll send you the other interesting tidbits and tips and tricks to help keep that ball rolling. And if you scroll down a little bit, you get a chance to see what the games are.
Oh, Denise says, LOL, what Milton Bradley missed, you're creating. You go, girl.
Thank you for that. If I can channel Milton Bradley, that'd be awesome. Bring it in.
I just
We're
love
definitely
this
going
so
for it.
much. So, all right, so here are 10 games you'll get when you take the challenge.
So everyone gets access to all the games, but it can be a little overwhelming. So we really try to focus everyone on just three. I can sort of go through some of them, but that chore chart champion is making chores fun, fair, and forget proof, because everyone thinks that chores are just boring and dumb and necessary, but there's no way to make them fun. Untrue. Totally ways to make that fun. So we talk about rewards and funny consequences and different ways to gamify making chores fun around the house. And then be the boss of awesome sauce. That's a cool acronym. Awesome is actually the acronym we're using to describe a 5-step system for how to get anyone to change their behavior, how you can get anyone to change their behavior without having to yell, without having to nag. So it's a really quick, easy system that we use and that we'll be using to help people figure out how to get their families on board and their partners on board. What's your trigger? That's keep the peace so tempers can cease. That's really helping people address anger issues that pop up in a lot of spaces. Me time's a big one, because who gets me time right now? If you have kids or if you have multiple people in your house, you probably don't have a lot of me time right now. So we're helping you get you some private time. How many forks do you give? That's a fun one where we're make an easy approach to making household decisions, because group decisions are hard. How do you do it in a way that's fair for everyone so folks can do it that way? Traffic light is focused on managing the interruption traffic while working from home, so everybody who's working from home can get into the zone. Gamification station, hot off the press. This one is not just about games, but it's actually supporting you and learning how to make anything into a game. It's actually quite easy, and my hope is that it won't just be me making the games, but it'll be people around the world making games all the time, so that the household happiness index just increases exponentially, because there's new, different, cool ways to make games out of regular things that are happening in the household. Daily detective, sleuthing out the good vibes every day. I think that's one of my most fun ones. You have sort of detectives working with mischief makers and good vibes makers, and that's just a quick, easy fix to getting good vibes in the house every day. The unblame game, probably one of my favorites, because we have this weird habit of blaming each other at home kind of all the time for the littlest things, and those little things become these huge fights when there's such an easy way to get around blaming folks. It's a very simple methodology. We just need to create the intention to say, you know what, we can have a blame-free household. We don't need blame in our household. And by the way, in doing so, we get through problems much quicker and much more effectively. And then, of course, there's Fix It, which gives people a chance to, how do you talk to each other about problems without making the other person feel defensive or without getting into a fight? There's sort of an easy solution for that as well. So we provide a lot of the specifics on how to do these sort of simple techniques, but I think there's probably a lot of things that people already know, but what we're doing is we're bringing them to the forefront and giving you an excuse or platform to talk about it and to work out these agreements and ideas and games that allow a lot of the good vibes to keep flying.
Oh, you've really done it. You've really done it. Denise says you are channeling Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
So yes, you are. You've done it. You've really done it. You've really done something amazing here. And I'm excited, and I would definitely like to participate. So I will go over to sign up and get involved more and share it out on all of our platforms too, because I really feel like what you're doing is so important. Something that I have believed and known, and that's how I started the Global Kindness Going Viral revolution. When, I realized that kindness begins with ourself. Just like inner peace begins with ourself. If we want to see kindness in the world, if we want to see peace in the world, first it starts inside of us. We have to really feel it in order to share it. It has to be revealed. All that we've been hiding, we need to let go. All the things that we've been holding on to, we need to release. And then that will ripple out into our family, and it will ripple out into our community, and then ripple out into our world. And so I think what you've done here is really, really taken something that can be so easily brought into day-to-day life. And so I think that, what we need to do is help you. So we need to find the best ways that I can be of service. And I would like to also offer that anytime you have anything going on, that you can tag me, and I can make sure that it gets onto all of our platforms. I'm known as Mindful Media Mom, so I teach people how to use the media for a greater good. And I have definitely learned how to do that. So I would be more than honored and humbled to help this go viral. I think this needs to go viral. I would love to see it go viral. And anything that I can do to help you, Dara, don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to reach out. And let's see how we can partner this with the Peace on Earth Games. Have you joined Peace on Earth Games as a partner yet?
I believe I signed up to partner with them. Yes. I've been
awesome.
in
Awesome.
the getting ready for launch mode. So I'm like just picking my head up to see what else is going on right about now. So I'm excited to hear about that story and about
Well,
all
the
the
Peace on
amazing
Earth
stuff.
games, I'm on the team for the marketing, and I'm on the team for the PO zones, the Peace on Earth zones,
Mm.
and for the partnerships. And we have over 700 partners now that have joined, and we have over 1,200 peace leaders, and we have not even rolled it out to the public yet. These are just beta
Wow.
testers. These are just the testers. So, like, I feel like I can help this grow, and I feel like I learned a lot with the Peace on Earth games. I feel like this is really, really a beautiful, beautiful segue for the Peace on Earth games. And I think that it can really be something that we could even bring this in on some level, a way that we can really cross promote each other. So let's really explore that and get curious of that, and think about, just let me know if there's anything I can do to help. We the World, I told you to put it onto the globalunitycalendar.org. So make sure
Yep.
you post it there.
Yeah.
Make sure you let people know with the compassion games. You can put that into the games, put it into, if you go to compassion games and you go to the map and then you set it up so that you let people know the website, where they get to go, where they get to
Right.
play. So that's another option here. I want to see what Denise says here. She says, I worked with children with disabilities for years. These children encompass such love. Would have loved to use some of this with them as well as the mainstream. What a great idea. I love it so much. Thank you, Denise, for commenting. Thank you for that really warms her heart. That really helps her to see that she really is, touching the hearts that she wants to touch. So when you put comments in like that, it really matters. When I tell people all the time, we here at Spirituality Gone Wild love to get your comments. We love your engagement. Never is this show a monologue. It is always a dialogue. It is always about the audience participating, becoming involved. We always want you to be in that we mentality where we are, inspiring each other, informing each other, and getting involved with each other. So let's really, really go from a me society to a we society. And that is something that I know we can do together. And so I want to thank you again, Dara, so much for being here, for sharing so transparently about your own struggles and how you've become best friends with your mom. I love that. I think that's so, so beautiful. And, I think it would be so great for you to share that more with people when you do your talks, because everyone is struggling with something right now. And, I think that when we realize that we're all in this together, we'll stop hurting each other. If we could just realize that we're all in this together, we can just stop all the hurt and we can just really listen to each other. And I think that it will really, these games are going to really help a lot of families. I will definitely share it with the families that I know of, and also on all of our platforms. So again, feel free to tag me in anything that you post. And if you need help with anything, just let me know.
Thank you so much. I feel like the work that you do in the world is such a gift, and I feel this is such a powerful time for so many ideas to converge and really take us to the next, level of evolution in our world, because, it just all of this negativity, all the hardness that is going on, all the challenges that are going on is, I believe, creating the opportunity for such joy and such kindness to emerge. But we need the worker bees. We need all the people who are sort of figuring out, how can we do it? How do we give people the skills, to actually exercise their empathy? So empathy and kindness are not seen as weakness, but they're actually seen as strengths that can get us to the next level. And
Well,
some people say that kindness is a virtue. I actually believe kindness is a skill, and I believe kindness can be learned. But depending on where you are, we learn different skill sets in that area, and we don't always think about it the same way. So how do we create a platform where everyone can talk about and synthesize our understandings of what kindness looks like, and figure out ways to do it that work for everybody? And how do we build that skill set and build a value for it so that everybody wants to do it? And I think we're at that tipping point, but it's going to take all of us working together. So I'm so grateful for you and your incredible networks in this show and the people watching, because I think we're all going to do it together. I'm excited for it.
Well, something that's really happened for me in this experience of somebody being very disrespectful and unkind to me is that it's awakened in me my true self, that no matter how somebody else treats me, I get to choose if I'm going to be kind. I get to choose if I'm going to start the ping pong game, and I get to choose if I'm going to take the ball and say, wow, you're really hurting, aren't you? Like, this really hurts. Something's really hurting. Like, I know you would never say something like that if you weren't really hurting. So I really think that, uh, I think I want people to explore and get curious about becoming grateful for the challenges, and really start to get more curious than critical about the people that you're living with, the people that you are spending your time around, more curious than critical about your own thoughts and the feelings that you have, because those are passing. They're not solid. They're not solid.
Well, and
When
also the more critical, there's a relationship there, right? So the more critical you are of other people, actually, the more critical you are of yourself. And
Yeah.
so that, and I just know so many people who are so unkind to themselves. The level of negative chatter they have about themselves is outrageous. And in fact, I used to have it up the wazoo, and I had to really work to get rid of that so that I could be compassionate to myself. And once I said that, then it became a lot easier for me to have compassion for other people. But I actually think that that's the hardest piece, is getting people to be kind to themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a skill set. It is literally a series of exercises that you can practice and learnings that you can do. But if you aren't actively engaged in doing those things, it's really hard to just stop on its own, because that negative internal chatter, it just has its own force. It is a powerful, powerful force. And until we learn how to quiet that, I think it's going to be a really hard road. But the good news is there's ways to quiet it, and there's ways that we can be more
That's
compassionate.
why we start the show that way. That's why we start the show, because I really want people, when they're listening, when they're watching the show, when they are being a guest on the show, when I'm being, the host of the show, that we're all being in the highest frequency and the best possible version of ourselves as our true self, and having a kind, open mind and an awakened, loving, peaceful, grateful heart, makes a big difference. And I think that if I really believe that if that was the way that we start our day with our families, we would see a completely different dynamic in our families. If we can just take a minute to be in silence with each other, to just be in that peace, in that stillness of the oneness that we truly are, and even when somebody is attacking us or is hurting and is saying very hurtful things that really, really upset you, go inside your own heart and ask yourself, what am I saying to myself after they stop talking? And really get into, why did that trigger me? What button was that needs to be dissolved? How does that person know that button is there? Because it really takes your power back when you allow yourself to be kind and loving and gentle, no matter what somebody's saying or doing. And it's a challenge. I'm telling you, I'm going through it myself right now. So it's not easy. It's not, and and when somebody else knows those buttons and knows how to push them and actually is using those things to try and make you feel bad and try to make you feel guilty and trying to blame you or shame you, it's really a gift for us
Mm.
to say thank you. And imagine what that person says, like when they're yelling at you and I do this with the kids too. I said, there's the ho'oponopono, right? And I said, just try this with your brother or sister or somebody that is starting an argument with you. Just say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And just see what they do. Like how would you react to that if somebody's yelling at you and they just say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank
So
you.
what's interesting about that is you're using two techniques, not one, but two techniques to actually untrigger them, right? So what happens when someone's screaming is they're actually the amygdala in their brain gets triggered.
The
Another one,
barking dog. Bar, 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 bar,
yes,
bar.
lizard brain, fight or flight, all these triggered, like these words all mean the same thing, which means that they're so upset, they're so upset that part of their brain takes over and they don't have access to their logic or their empathy. So they're not going to empathize with your situation or care about how you feel until they get untriggered. And so one of the things that we do is talk about how do you untrigger someone who's yelling at you and attacking you, right? So one of the things you do, you could just validating the person's experience. We have 5 different ways to validate someone's experience, but to let them know they feel that they're heard. One of them is apologizing, right? So if you really are apologizing for it, then that is one great way to do it. But then you're adding song to it, which is just kind of funny, right? And so you're adding humor to it. So like if you're adding humor, if you're being funny and apologizing at the same time, who can keep yelling? I don't know anybody that can keep yelling if you're just singing that you're sorry. Like it is a double whammy there that I think would really help and getting that person back to the part of their brain where they can feel empathy and where they do recognize that they don't
Yeah.
actually want to be hurting you. So
Yeah.
that's a brilliant strategy. I love that. I'm going to try
Well,
that the next time.
yeah, I talked with the kids about it, and I'm going to be with them on the 18th. I'll tell them all about this game too on the 18th. If you have flyers or things like that that I can, an email like that I can send to the kids' families too, that
Karen,
would
I
be
got to be honest with you. We've been so much in making world, just creating the games that we have not done a lot of work around marketing the games. So
right.
I think that's a great idea, and we will definitely any of your viewers who have ideas for where we can share the message to get more people on board.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, and as we'll take as many ideas as we can and figure out how to get this out. But I think a flyer and figuring out how to get that out is a great next step. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that, if you have like a little something that you can send out in an email, that would just make it really easy for families, to sign up
Yeah.
and to play the games. So anyway, yeah, I find that song always lightens things up for me. I'm kind of a Weird Al Yankovic of kindness and compassion.
So
And
good.
that's what kindness to me is a superpower. And I think that when we can stay kind, no matter what, even if we feel that we're right and that we feel that we really, really, really need to be right, that's when we really, really, really need to be kind.
I think it's one of the downfalls of humankind is our urge to be right. We love to be right,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to let go of. But if we and what we like to talk about in the games is instead of talking about who's right or who's wrong, talk about what's the action and what's the consequence, because then it doesn't feel as personal. If it's right or wrong, then somebody has to be wrong for somebody else to be right, and nobody wants to be wrong because that feels bad.
Mhm.
But if we actually talk about the action and the consequence, then you're talking about what people are doing and how that's creating harm, and people can receive that better. And they
Yeah.
can be more open to saying, oh, of course I don't mean to hurt you, like let's stop doing that thing that's hurting you. But if you say
Mhm.
you're wrong for doing this thing, you're a terrible person, or that's what they here as you're a terrible person, and then they have no interest in stopping their behavior. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful. I'm so grateful for you, Dara. I am so incredibly excited for this game. So September 15th is the launch. Are there other ways like that people can get involved before the 15th that they can?
absolutely, absolutely. We're always looking for we have a launch team. So if any of your members want to join our launch team, we actually have a call tomorrow. So get in touch with me quick, and
So
I'll add you to the
Denise,
call.
yeah, Denise says she feels the trueness of this. So Denise, yeah, reach out and
Yes,
go over.
yes.
She says if you go to the Mindset Reset Games and you can send her a message directly through there. So that's a great way for connecting. And also, you know, just like the page. If you make sure that you like the page, then you're going to get notifications whenever any news is going to be released. So you're going to be getting all the behind the scenes, all the excitement that's happening, and you're not going to miss a thing. So make sure you like the page, you guys. I'm going to invite all of my friends and networks to like the page also. So, and that's another thing you can do. Invite your friends to like the page.
That'd be great.
So that's another thing that you can do. I call it sacred social media. So sacred social media is when we see something that we truly, truly want to see more of in the world, and we use our social media for a greater good. That means sharing posts when you see Dara post something. That means tagging your friends in those posts that you think might be interested in what she's talking about. That means sending messages, private messages to people that you think might want to be playing these games. That means, you know, again, that means being focused on what you want to see in the world. What do you want to see in the world? What do you want to see more of in the world? So when you are using your sacred social media, that means only focusing on what you do want to see in the world, not getting sucked into, oh, I'm going to share this because this is what's happening. This is using your social media for a greater good, is trusting that what you put out there is going to make a difference.
That's a powerful ripple effect right there. I mean, if everyone started doing that, the world would change so much quicker, and so much for the better.
And it's been scientifically proven that one person, this is in Dr. David Hawkins' book, The Power versus Force, one person vibrating with love in their heart, with peace on their mind and kindness in their actions, counterbalances 750,000 people who are in the low frequency of fear and blame and shame. Those are the lowest frequencies on the planet. So when we stay in our love and peace and kindness, we are the highest, most powerful frequency on the planet. And when we come together and we bring that together, so there's two of us here right now talking about this, and we're both in our hearts and we're both focused on peace in the world and how do we have a culture of peace. We're both taking action with our kindness. So 750,000 times two, right?
Exactly.
And everyone who's watching right now, and anybody who watches the replay, anybody who gets into their own heart, does that little wonderful thing that I do at the beginning of the show, gets themselves quiet enough so that they have kind mind, they have a peaceful, awakened, grateful heart, and they're getting ready to go out into the world to spread more kindness. You're a power force. You're all power forces. And that's why I started doing live stream. Because people told me, you can't make a difference. You can't, there's nothing you can do. You can't bring, people aren't kind, Karen. People told me that so much when I started the Global Kindness Revolution. This was in 2014. And nobody was really using social media for kindness. That was when, unfortunately, I was seeing, you know, tweets about horrible things happening. And I was like, oh, why is that trending? Oh my gosh, why is that trending? And I was like, well, how do I get kindness trending? That was the question. Like, how do I do that? And then I call myself an angelic marketing strategist, because then all the support started coming in from the non-physical. And that's when you trust. You got to trust. And you got to know that there's something bigger going on here on planet Earth than what we humans can understand. And that's when we open up to more support. And that's when we trust that these ideas that you said, like, it was downloaded through you, you got the idea, then it took a lot of other people that needed to be on board. And if they aren't on board, then you're on your island by yourself if they're not on board. So this is why it's so important that people realize. I started with 10 followers. I mean, I started with 10 very engaged people that they considered themselves followers. I called them global family. I started a global family page, and I started inviting everyone to be part of the global kindness revolution. And that's what really was. And then the puppy love revolution came from that, because I love puppies and I love animals. And I wanted to do something that could really, really enforce and bring all of these pet organizations, all of these organizations that were not getting any kinds of social media, any kind of, didn't know how to use technology, didn't know how to get donations, didn't know how to do that, helping those people. And so that's how that puppy love revolution got started too. So people need to learn the power of their words. Yes, Denise, words are powerful and people are kind. They just need to remember it. Right. Absolutely.
So it's interesting. I think that's Denise's point is powerful, because just remembering it. I think when everyone is feeling, we like to say, like, when everyone is feeling when everyone has their ducks in a row, everyone's feeling hunky-dory, right? But then when logistics get messed up, when somebody forgets something, when somebody makes a mistake that has a negative impact on you, you do forget to be kind. I like to say that, one of the fun things we talk about is those ducks fall out of formation. They start pointing fingers and lying and throwing accusations, and it turns into a big cluster duck. And so that is actually where we have so many people who are so frustrated that you don't have the means to be kind, because again, that little part of your brain is triggered. And so how do we help people in those moments when everything is falling apart and it just feels like the world is crashing in? How do you be kind in those moments? And I think, Karen, you we're in the Mutual Admiration Society. I'm so appreciative of you and all the kindness that you do in the world, and that work that you've done to get to a place where you can be kind even when somebody is coming at you and is attacking you. And that's not an easy skill. You've got to work at it to get there. And I think once you work at it, you can get over it, and it makes everything easier. But getting people to value that enough to actually want to take the job of turning it around, that's not an easy thing to do. But if we can do that, and if we can scale that skill so that all humans have them, or almost all humans have them, then a culture of peace is an inevitability.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's so great. Thank you so much, Dara. I'm so excited. I think I can think of 5 families right now that I want to introduce to this. So I'm really excited. And thank you again, everyone commenting. Denise says, you're helping them to remember by your resonance. Keep vibing the good vibes. It's catchy. LOL. Yeah, that's for sure. It is catchy. It's definitely like I said, we're experiencing something very powerful on the planet. And remember, it's growing and growing the more we speak. Kindness, compassion is at its peak. I challenge you. You challenge me. We are a global family. There's unity in all we seek. So spread this wide and find a way. Do something kind every day. Do something kind every day. Find a way to be kind to your friends, to your family, to the people in your community, and to yourself. Dara, something you'd like to end with?
I think I'm going to end on a comment made by Denise here. It's yes, let's say all humans have it. All humans are kind, It's about how do we create the space to get folks to remember it when things get hard, so that we can create more compassion and more empathy, and do it with some games so there's more joy as well.
Perfect. I
Yay.
love it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for your comments. And make sure you remember that sharing is caring. And if you're watching this live or you're watching it on the replay, you can share it. You can send it to a friend. You can send it out on your social media through your groups. You can send it also on any pages that you manage. And let us know anything that you got going on. We'd love to help you. Anybody interested in joining us at Spirituality Gone Wild, you can go to spiritualitygonewild.com. We are actually starting a membership, which is going to help people who want to learn how to host their own shows, learn how to be a guest on shows like this one today, and learn how to use the technology to get your message and your gifts out into the world. So if that's something that you're interested in, just go to spiritualitygonewild.com, and also like our page on Spirituality Gone Wild. And if you'd like to have any time that you'd like to see, like I said, we're all about raising the levels of compassion, gratitude, joy, love, kindness, and peace on earth. So that's all we broadcast on Spirituality Gone Wild. Everything is about those ways to raise frequencies. So if you are wanting to help get those out there, share this out, share it out, watch it with somebody you love, play the games with somebody you love, and get involved with somebody that you really, really want to love and have more connection with. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
So be it, Denise says. So be it. Yay. Bye, guys.